We've all done it. You have a terrible day at work, and on the way home, you find yourself buying a new pair of shoes you don't need. Or maybe you're just bored, scrolling through your phone, and suddenly you've spent $100 on things that looked cool for a second. Even when we're happy, we celebrate with a purchase. This is emotional spending, and it's a silent habit that keeps millions of people feeling stressed and broke. But what if I told you there's a way to break this cycle? A way to take back control of your wallet, and ultimately, your life. Stick with me, because today, we're going to dismantle this habit piece by piece. So, what exactly is emotional spending? Here's the secret. It has almost nothing to do with money. It's all about emotion. It's what happens when your feelings, not your logic, are driving your financial decisions. You're not actually buying a new gadget or a fancy meal. You're buying a temporary hit of relief. A few moments of comfort that, unfortunately, often lead to long-term stress and regret. You're using your credit card as a bandage for an emotional wound. The problem is, the bandage always falls off, and the wound is still there. To understand why this feels so good in the moment, we need to talk about a little thing called dopamine. When you buy something new, your brain releases this powerful chemical, often called the feel-good hormone. It has the same chemical that is released when you eat your favorite food or get a notification on your phone. It creates a short, intense burst of pleasure and satisfaction. That's why the act of shopping can feel so incredibly rewarding for a few minutes. But what happens after that dopamine rush fades? For most of us, it's a crash. The guilt sets in. The buyer's remorse kicks in. You look at your purchase and realize it didn't solve the underlying problem. It didn't fix your bad day or cure your loneliness. It just distracted you for a little while. Recognizing this dopamine trap is the absolute first step to breaking free. The next step is to become a detective of your own emotions. You need to identify your triggers. Everyone has them. For some, it's stress from work. For others, it's loneliness on a Friday night or boredom on a Sunday afternoon. It could even be anxiety about the future. I want you to take out a piece of paper or open a note on your phone. For the next week, every time you feel the urge to spend money on something you don't strictly need, pause. Write down the emotion you're feeling in that exact moment. Are you feeling sad, frustrated, inadequate? Once you start connecting the emotion to the urge, you create a powerful space for a conscious choice. You can ask yourself the million-dollar question: do I truly need this? Or am I just trying to feel better? This awareness is where your control begins. Now, you can't just stop a habit cold turkey. The brain doesn't work that way. You have to replace the bad habit with a better one. So, the next time one of your triggers hits and you feel that familiar urge to shop, you need a new plan of action. Instead of reaching for your wallet, what could you do instead? Could you go for a walk in a park? The fresh air and movement can do wonders for your mood. Could you journal your feelings and get them out of your head? Or maybe call a friend and just talk? Here's a powerful one. Instead of spending that $50, open your banking app and transfer it directly into your savings account. That single action redirects the emotional energy from a destructive habit into a constructive one. You're building long-term financial strength instead of getting a short-term fix. Let's add another tool to your toolkit, the 24-hour rule. This one is simple, but incredibly effective. If you see something non-essential that you want to buy, don't. Just wait 24 hours. Put it in your online cart and walk away. Sleep on it. If after a full day and a good night's sleep, you still genuinely want it and it fits your budget, then you can consider it. You'll be amazed at how often that intense "I need this now" feeling completely vanishes. Most emotional purchases are driven by impulse, and impulse has a very short shelf life. Giving yourself that buffer period separates true desire from a fleeting feeling. Alright, this next step might feel a little uncomfortable, but I promise it's freeing. I want you to face your spending head-on. Go to your bank's website and print out your credit card and debit card statements from the last 30 days. Get a highlighter and go through every single transaction. For each one, ask yourself, was this a need, or was this driven by an emotion? Be brutally honest. Highlight every single emotional purchase. When you're done, take a look at the page. Many people are shocked not just by the total amount of money, but by how frequently emotion was the one making the financial decisions. Seeing it all laid out in black and white is like holding up a mirror to your habits. It's not about shaming yourself. It's about empowering yourself with the truth. Once you know where your money is going, it's time to set some boundaries. This isn't about restriction. It's about protection. Create a category in your monthly budget for fun money or guilt-free spending. This is a set amount of money you can spend on whatever you want, no questions asked. A coffee, a new book, a ticket to the movies. But here's the key. Once that money is gone for the month, it's gone. This boundary protects you from your impulses. It forces you to be more intentional with your spending because you have a finite amount to work with. It transforms spending from an endless, anxiety-inducing activity into a planned, enjoyable one. One of the biggest underlying reasons for emotional spending is a feeling of financial insecurity. When we feel out of control with our money, we often try to regain a sense of control through spending, which is ironic because it just makes the problem worse. The ultimate antidote to this is building an emergency fund. Even starting with a small goal, like saving $500, can dramatically change your mindset. Having that cushion, knowing that you can handle an unexpected car repair or medical bill, gives you a profound sense of security and power. When you feel financially safe, you no longer need the temporary comfort of retail therapy. Your savings become your source of peace, not your shopping bags. Finally, remember to celebrate your wins. This journey is about progress, not perfection. Every single time you recognize an emotional trigger and choose not to make an impulse purchase, that is a victory. So, reward yourself for it. Did you stop yourself from spending $30 on takeout because you were stressed? Awesome. Immediately transfer that $30 into your savings or an investment account. Watch that balance grow. This simple action reframes the entire experience. You're not depriving yourself. You're not saying no. You're retraining your brain to associate good feelings with saving, not spending. You're actively choosing your future self over a fleeting impulse. So let's bring it all together. Emotional spending isn't a character flaw or a sign of weakness. It's a learned response to stress, boredom, and other difficult feelings. But the good news is, anything that was learned can be unlearned. You have the power to take back control. It starts with a simple pause, a moment to reflect on what you're truly feeling, and then the choice to replace that old habit with a new one that serves you better. Because every dollar you save by saying no to a momentary emotion is a powerful yes to your long-term goals and your future freedom. When you finally control your wallet, you'll find that you control so much more. You control your life. Thank you so much for watching. If this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content on taking control of your finances and your life. I'd love to hear your own experiences with this in the comments below. See you in the next video.